Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. SeKo Starcraft bringing you one of his amateur BS replays from the bowels of the Starcraft ladder. I just got done playing an amazing session on ladder. By amazing, I mean I went 4-0 because I only really sit down and play a handful of games at a time, but it was still fantastic. Back to playing some random. I just happened to be getting Terran for a lot of the games that are worth casting and interesting. And I'm going up against Wolf. Also a gold level player, but I checked out his profile. He is actually a former diamond player that's been there like 8 times, and a masters level team player. So no slouch. No slouch at all. As for me, down here in the bottom, I like checking out people's history after I play some really good matches against them, because it just says you're in Gold League right now. Wolf also shows that he has all 90 experience levels, so he's got each race maxed out. And I run into a lot of people that are in Gold League with me that have historically never been there. And there's a lot of people that come down from Diamond, even some Masters League players. Very strange to me. I mean, it's not that crazy or unusual, I would expect, to see people that have, let their skills slide a little bit, but they're still playing the game, and I give them props for that. I used to play a bit more Platinum myself, and I'm really close, if I wanted to probably be there, because as it stands right now, I am currently number 1 in Gold League. Thank you very much. No pictures, just throw money. And it's, yeah, it's been a good run. I say I've been pretty excited about my play over the last little bit. Some of them have just been build order wins, some of them have been, a little bit more fun for strategies, but regardless of how you want to spin it, actually playing some pretty fun StarCraft. Win or lose. Don't win all my games. I just like going through the games that seem to be a bit more enjoyable. Chasing that probe around, I don't think I'm going to chase him forever. For me, it's just, you have to do things as a player against protoss in the amateur leagues to be certain. You want to be certain there's not a pylon in your base. You want to be certain he's not cannon rushing you, or proxy gateways. You see that I am getting down my engineering bay block, as always, and he is not going to see this, as I would have expected. I'm pretty sure he didn't see that. Nope, didn't see it. I don't think he's necessarily intending to expand right now anyways, as we see him get a second gateway down instead. I'm actually going to let that engineering bay finish. That was a conscious decision, so I can use that to throw down a missile turret. It's way too often that I run into people that will go and get an oracle, and with the new patches they're predicting, the oracle will get cheaper, so I'm expecting it to happen more often. And if you're not ready for it, an oracle will ruin your day. And I'm too crappy at this game to try to micro around my workers and my handful of marines to try to deal with an oracle. You need like 6 marines to deal with an oracle effectively, and I'm just not going to have that out at this time. I do manage to get a pretty good deny on his scout there. Does see that I've got a bunker at the top of my ramp and not at the bottom down here, which should let him know that I'm not necessarily going for some sort of immediate expansion timing. Otherwise, having the bunker at the top isn't as important. But I know, by this engineering bay being here, that he is not going for that. So we see pretty much the evolution of his strategy. Twilight Council, 3-gate, chrono boosting, the cybernetics core. Which... oh, there's the 4th gate. That is such amazing timing. Isn't that hilarious? And I actually click on all these buildings. So I see 4 gate. Free scouting. I thought that was so funny. He actually feels really upset about the fact that apparently Terran can get free scouting. Though there are observers that also do pretty good. Blizz needs to nerf it into the ground. I don't know why this guy has a problem with scanning, but we're going to find out later that he really keeps having problems with that concept. Anyways, he doesn't really have an army out yet. He doesn't have any units. He doesn't have a pylon on this side of the map. And for me, I know what this is. This is a... you don't go 4-gate DT, you go 4-gate blink. I do have at least 1 missile turret in case I am wrong, but I'm going to get a second bunker at the front, and I'm going to move into marauders with concussive shells, so I can slow down any type of blink stalker play that's coming at me. Starting to get all of his gateways finished up here, just finishing out a couple more stalkers, and he should be having his Twilight Council, working on getting that there blink finished up. So I'm doing pretty good. Actually, in the back of my mind, what I want to do at the same time as this is drop widowmines, which I thought would be really fun, knowing that he won't have any detection in his base. So I'm going to start making widowmines as part of defense, and then transition into a starport, which I need anyways, to be able to do that stuff later. Having a Red Bull, one of the silver edition Red Bulls, which it doesn't taste silver to me. It's too fruity. I don't know what I would describe as tasting silver, but it doesn't. I don't think it tastes silver. It still tastes good. Red Bull, if you're listening, I love you. Sponsor me. I have a friend in distribution. I should see if he can hook me up. So, widowmines down, protecting my bunkers. Marauders with concussive shells. I eject everything so I can put it onto the same hotkey, so that way if I do get blinked into, I can move quicker. He's actually got a pretty good chunk of units coming down. A forge. And he still is now finally going to start working on this engineering bay. Which, his timing of killing this is very important to me. That means that his attack is essentially on the way now, and that if his attack doesn't work, he wants to expand. That's the strategy here. This widowmine might have been better served here at the back. I thought this is where he was going to enter into the base. So concussive shells are done. Have a handful of marauders. Lots of stalkers though. And my next command center on the way. So technically my macro would be ahead of his when the time comes. Nice blink micro. Widowmine. Widowmine. Concussive shells doing a great job. There we go. Pull everything out of the bunkers. And though I've lost a fair bit of units here, and that was a nice time warp, the concussive shells are just working too good against him right now. I think he's going to get one SCV down. Yeah, I'm going to lose a couple marauders, but for me, I know how all in this attack was of his. Did he actually get a kill on a marauder? I'm too pissed. Nope. Doesn't get that. And he's going to have to run that guy away. But, still making marauders. My command center's almost finished. He has not even started his nexus. His tech is okay, but once again, I do have my starport up. I don't know why it's got a tech lab. I was thinking in case you went DTs, I'd be able to get mobile detection. And now my command center is ready. Widowmine's in position, and I'm going to expand. And he's retreating. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I feel in a really good spot. We do finally have his nexus going down. 3 more racks. So I'm going to go to 5 racks here, and I'm going to get down a reactor to help out. I did lose my engineering bay, and it didn't occur to me yet that I had, but I'm also only on 1 gas right now, enough to support my marauder habit. That's about it. Yeah, heal that stuff. Now this is a little unfortunate for me, but I only lose those 2 widowmines in it, which isn't as big of a deal. 6 stalkers gonna have to back away against all my marauders. I might have been able to push out and get some damage in, but with blink stalker micro, I could have lost a lot of things. So I'm gonna have to wait for my medevacs to finish and to just hit a good macro stride. So I'm not in a rush. I might as well just chill out and get myself into a macro lead, because if we look, he's got a big lead in workers. Double chrono boost is gonna be coming out soon for his 2nd nexus. So I need to really pump out the workers. Finally getting my engineering bays down, so my upgrades are behind his. Very importantly. Finally get another gas on the way, as I'm trying to get down all of my add-ons I need. Finally getting some medevacs out. Medevacs, marauders, concussive shell. I feel in a pretty good position right now to be able to defend against the blink attacks he might have. I'll be able to jump around and get out against most things. Putting down a couple of missile turrets just to deal with observers that might be coming in, to deal with blink micro. What I'd hate to do is move out, have them blink in with just a handful of stalkers, and really punish me with stuff I can't defend against. Finally, he's getting a robo bay down. Once again, his tech was somewhat delayed. What I want to do is get out a really good army to attack before he can get out Colossus. Colossus is what I'm worried about. Another free scan, sees his robo bay timing, sees his expansion, and sees nothing but stalkers. Now, as a Terran player, if you see the robotics facility going down now, that means it's going to be a while before that's done, and a while before the robotics facility bay is done, So Thermal Lance and Colossus are a ways off. So my intention here is to get out a good sized army and go and push here very soon before Colossus can happen. Lots and lots of Marines, and lots of supply blockage. Because I am a mega chump. And what I should do is cancel some of the supplies so I have more money to build more supply depots. But what are you going to do? Upgrades on the way, 1-1 starting. He's already finished +1 armor and +1 attack. And I realized as I pushed out right there that out of this whole time, I had forgotten my stim pack. So I couldn't even chase down those stalkers. So I'm not going to move out right now when I can't get the damage done that I need. Still building more workers. Worker count. He's still got a pretty good lead on me. But I'm going to keep building them regardless. Medevacs. So now I feel like if I do get kited, I can at least survive a bit. I'm going to go put some pressure out on the map. I am worried about DTs in the back of my mind. That they would be able to slice me up pretty good. I do have 2 orbital commands. I think I'm hanging on to one of my scans just in case. Kill that pylon that was proxied over there. 1-1 should be finished up here soon. Getting down my armory so I can get my 2-2 started immediately afterwards. Pretty good production setup for me there. Combat shields on the way, stim pack on the way. I don't think he really wants to tangle with this army. He sees it. I am looking at the map this whole time to try and find this observer. I know it's here. I just don't want to waste my scans for nothing because of the DTs maybe coming. Looking at the front, I don't see his army there, so I know it's out on the map. And I see these going into Immortal production, which I like. I mean, Immortals are great against Marauders, but they are not as good as Colossus are. So that actually makes me feel really good about my timing here. Don't want to talk to you right now. Still pretty healthy production moving along. Once again, another pretty big supply block for Sean. Once I get into my macro stride, it's something that I still really haven't gotten into the hang of, which is just getting ahead on my supply. Always building supply depots. Finally have another command center on the way. Stim pack's about to finish, and my combat shields are done. So, let's look at the army. Where's your army supply? Control A. Not that. That's what I want. There we go. So, my army supply's got a good lead over his. He's got a pretty big worker supply, though. DTs are going to be coming soon. So, I've got a pretty good army here. Got stim finished up. My 1-1 is just finished as well. I'm going to move out of the way of the Nexus cannon, and then come back in. This is such a terrible spot for him to attack into. He finally blinks on top of my army, so me microing isn't going to do me a ton of good. The Zealots get just mashed, and he loses all of his stuff really quickly there. Oh, yeah, I did get that last Immortal, that's good. Focus down these Zealots as quickly as possible. Two is on the way for me behind this. He's got his +2 attack, so we should be on even footing on upgrades here pretty soon. I actually want to target this Nexus down. I didn't know it at the time, but I figured this would be his only Nexus. I wouldn't think he had been brash enough to be able to afford another Nexus. So I might have been able to push into the ramp and do some damage. But I'm actually not that worried about it at this stage. It's more important for me to not lose the advantage that I have. And behind this I should keep macroing. God, I suck at that. Like, no SCVs. I don't know how I'm even affording this army. More command centers on the way. It'd be nice if I had things to mine from those command centers. That'd be cool. But I am actually affording. That scan was very important. I see all the DTs at the top there. So I actually have to move over and start getting Ravens pretty quick. That's a pretty expensive thing for him to lose right there. That is a lot of valuable resources going into those DTs. And once I kill those DTs, I feel pretty good to come back up the ramp again. Do a bit more damage. I'll take out the Robo, some pylons. And actually, it's pretty bad for him. He doesn't actually have a surplus of pylons right now. So this is actually going to get him pretty close to supply block as well. Just doing all the damage I can. I don't have to push up the ramp. Behind this, I am getting Ravens. More command centers, more supply depots, so I don't get supply blocked. The good thing about, the way I play is that if I lose a big pile of my army, I can always just, have my supply go down so I can make more army. Go Terran. Command centers are finished. Do definitely need to start building more of an economy. I'm in this weird spot. Now, I've done this a lot of times against Protoss, where you're ahead, and you just wonder, what should I just push in? Well, what if I get killed? Then it's back to square one. The difficulty is that if you don't push in, I like that the DT is scouting around for another base. If I don't push in, he could get out storms, he could get out something else. By killing his Robo Bay, I know that he's not going to be going into any type of Colossus. It would probably be worthwhile for him, with the resources he have, to get Storm. I think that's the only way he'd be able to beat this army, is through getting that Storm down. So I'm going to try and expand down here. His DT is very well timed. My first Raven is finished, I believe, or just finishing up. Yeah, my first Raven is done. Where is it? Yeah, it's in this army here. So I was going to go down here and actually just defend this, but then I came to the conclusion that if I wait too long, I'm just going to let him win. Or I'm going to let him get back into this. So I'm going to push in to try to end the game now. Got a huge army lead. My economy is doing pretty good. Going to get down another base pretty fast. So I'm in a pretty happy spot. Still don't see any DTs. I see what his army composition is. 2-2 versus 2-2. My +3 attack is on the way. The problem is, I'm going to pause for a second just to help people out. What really sucks is you need your stim, but there's priority to your units. So you got to be very, very careful about that you tab over to your other units when you're doing this. So when I was playing right now, I was trying to stim, but I kept having my Raven highlighted while I was doing that, trying to drop auto turrets, as you saw there. So my stim kept getting messed up. So you see I'm actually just bumbling around in here. My Raven is stupidly getting out in the front and dies. But that allows me to stim now finally, because I finally figured out what the hell was wrong and why I couldn't actually control my army. I could hear the DT attacking. More DTs at the top. He does run them outside of scan range. Another scan, and that's essentially the end of it all. 3-3 on the way, more bases. So somehow, like, the thing that this guy thinks is most imbalanced about Terran is scans. Out of all the things to be unhappy about, scans is what is pissing him off. Oh well, what can you do? Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Sean on a high from winning a whole bunch of ladder games that I really enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll have some more games for you soon.